Dave Big Bald Boom Box Batista is the latest wrestler to graduate from the squared circle to the circle you stand in if you're an actor. I don't know, f*** off. Mr. Batista was last seen on our TV screen successfully pulling off the gimmick of most popular man in the world, hooray, before skedaddling as fast as skinny jeans could carry him. But despite the man's legacy threatening to be Blue Tista forever, Big Tisty was a huge star of his generation, a 6-time world champion and a 2-time Rumble winner, although most fans would have a royal grumble about that last bit. Still, for all the hits in his career, there were some Batista bombs. Oh, excellent. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 things WWE want you to forget about Batista. Number 10, Deacon Batista. Now, I'm tempted for this entry just to point this awful soul patch thing on his chin, like a weird, hairy, upside-down letter T, but let's go into it in a bit more detail. Anyway, when the Dudleys were split apart in the initial 2002 brand split, Bubba did well, Devon did not do as well. He became Reverend Devon, and it wasn't that great, but it did introduce the WWE Universe to his muscly disciple, Deacon Batista. He was a weird, bald dude who had a near sexual fascination with a box of money. It was a peculiar introduction to the animal, and not one that will be appearing in his eventual Hall of Fame package. Number 9, why he wore sunglasses. Batista's look has always best been summarised as skeevy chic, whether it's his little belly button tattoo with uniquely perverted beards or just the weird way he smiles. And right on theme, he used to wear sunglasses to the ring. Sunglasses indoors. Drink it in, man. Apparently, the reason why had less to do with the whole looking like a badass thing and had more of a practical element. In an interview with The Writer's Room, the animal revealed that the reason why he wore his shades while cutting promos was that he had an acute and long-held fear of public speaking, and the terror would show in his eyes. It's kind of a nice story, really, but still, stage fright isn't exactly the warrior's way, so maybe WWE would not like you to rewatch his old promos and realise that Big Dave was scared to death. Number 8, he don't give a shit anymore. Hey, everyone's on Twitter these days, although I mostly use it to slide to Tiffany G. King's DMs. Boy, howdy. WWE superstars are no stranger to social media, and since Vince McMahon's Global Sweat Lodge became obsessed with the Twitter a few years back, everyone from Bray Wyatt to Stephanie McMahon has been taking to the web to routinely take a nice big poo on kayfabe. I do not want to see Bray Wyatt retweeting stuff about charities. Anyway, turns out Batista on Twitter doesn't give a shit. Most wrestlers toe the company line for fear of angering the Vinny, but not Dave. He slagged off the company for their treatment of Titus O'Neil, telling the Real Deal to straight up quit, and he ripped on Stephanie McMahon about her habit of slapping wrestlers making for shit television. Also, in an interview for Spectre, Batista said he felt lied to by WWE. He just don't give no shit no more, and it's very bad PR for the company. Number 7, getting a woman wrestler fired. Shelly Martinez played Ariel, who was a vampire because that's what WWE thought the ECW reboot should be like. She hung around with Kevin Thorne, this waistcoated gentleman who looks like all internet trolls rolled into one terrible walking fedora. Martinez was released from the company, and apparently it was down to backstage politicking from Big Dave. In an interview, she said they'd had an aggressive conversation backstage. If it was outside of wrestling, I'm pretty sure it could have been a legal problem for both Batista and WWE, but this is wrestling, it's a man's business, so I fired back and they fired me. Apparently, the spat was to do with Batista's relationship with a member of the female roster. And speaking of, number 6, the whole Melina thing. Melina wasn't exactly Miss Congeniality backstage. There are numerous stories of her having massive heat with the locker room for misbehavior and generally Sonic the Hedgehog levels of attitude. One of the biggest points of contention amongst the fans is the persistent rumor that Batista and Melina had an affair while she was still seeing John Morrison. Much of the ire comes from the fact that John Morrison didn't confront Batista about it, making him appear weak in the eyes of hyper-macho management, who are probably the sort of people who'd use the term cuck unironically. It's a long-standing rumour which has been strenuously denied from all sides, with Melina stating on JR's podcast that her and Morrison were over well before she started getting on Big Dave's Big D. Number 5, losing a fight to Booker T. As established in the last entry, the wrestling world is full of very tough men, and most of them, especially in the years of the biggest stars being the biggest men, guard their aura of bravado with their lives. Weakness is death, which makes it a bit awkward when wrestlers who are supposed to be untouchable world munchers get in backstage fights and lose. Goldberg was out-wrestled by Chris Jericho, and Batista came off worse in a spat with Booker T. The story goes that Tista, never know how much I missed you, sorry I missed the 90s, him and Booker T got into it while shooting promotional material for SummerSlam. It got heated and the two men retired to a private room to have a Barney, with Booker T knocking Batista on his animal bum. Number 4, they stole a movie from him. Batista left WWE in May 2010, opting not to re-up his contract. However, WWE might want you to forget the fact they might have sealed his departure by screwing him out of a movie role. Batista's been very clear about the fact he's always wanted to be in movies, and to be fair, he's pretty bloody good in them. Here he is, being good in a movie. And the Wrestling Observer reported that Triple H's role in the movie Inside Out, not that one, that role originally was given to Batista before the flick was repurposed as a Triple H vehicle. First of all, if Triple H was an actual vehicle, that vehicle would look like this. And second, considering that Inside Out is bollocks, maybe Dave shouldn't have got as mad as he did, but he did get mad. He got, in Dave Meltzer's words, furious. They took the role off him and he was gone, so either WWE took the part away to punish him for leaving, or them taking it off him might have been the final nail in his coffin. Either way, poor form WWE. Number 3, cheating on his sick wife. No, this isn't very nice, and to be honest, if this had only been a rumour like some pieces on this list, I definitely wouldn't have brought it up, but this has been confirmed by the man himself, so here we go. Batista was married once, and on the road presents a lot of temptations, especially when you're constantly full of adrenaline, having people throw themselves at you because you're famous and have, quote, all those muscles. He slept around and took full responsibility for that in his 2007 autobiography. What's a bit more is the fact that his wife was battling ovarian cancer at the time. Again, Batista has gone a little way towards righting such wrongs by making a genuinely touching video where he beat the crap out of a man dressed as cancer to raise awareness, but still, it's just pretty horrible, really. Number 2, he hated PG. Again, Vince McMahon isn't the biggest fan in the world of the outspoken superstar. Ryback got himself in hot water by mouthing off. Cesaro's had to delete a few frustrated tweets in his time. And of course, Batista is more than happy to speak his mind. The mind that looks like it's trying to escape out the back of his head in his last run. Seriously, look at the back of his head. It looks like a brain. Anyway, not only did Batista once slag off the superstars on SmackDown in an interview with The Sun, they gave him a huge amount of heat backstage, but when WWE went PG in 2008, and fans were a little bit peeved, well, turns out Batista was too, sounding off on the company to the Daily Star. He said, "I can't watch it, I can't connect with it, I no longer know this business." And number 1, his dick. How big is Batista's dick? It's a question worthy of Solomon himself. Apparently it's big, like freak big, but we may never know for sure. However, that hasn't stopped it from being one of wrestling's biggest in-jokes and memes. Long may it remain a perfect symbol of how stupid wrestling is and will be forever. How big is Batista's dick? And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us how big Batista's dick is in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.